So I needed some furniture moved out, and it was a quite difficult situation of finding the right supplier at the right price point and having a really high quality looking solution for that. And that's by simple online research, I came in contact with Litta. So hello and welcome to the next episode of Startups of London. In this episode, I'm with a special guest, Aarron, from Litta. And because I work in the digital industries, I do have a habit, maybe Aarron doesn't know this, but I usually check the web rank of the websites that I go in, the Alexa rank. So if there's a good score there, then it's a good credibility for me. So I saw your website. It was having good traffic, and I got in touch with you, and they've helped me move my furniture out. It was a very friendly service, and that's where we got to talking. And I said, you know what? Let's tell your story with Startups of London. Let's meet face to face. So, Aarron, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So let's jump straight in and start with your story and how you founded Litta. Were there any co-founders? And the core value proposition and what you're doing in the market.
So Litta was first started as a mobile app, an iOS app, which was born when I was looking to dispose of some old furniture from a rental property, and I realized how difficult it was. I realized that there was no kind of digital interaction in terms of the prices were fragmented. When I went to Google, I couldn't make sense of it. And I kind of thought, wouldn't it be very simple if we could just say a two-seater sofa is £50 or £30 and then connect digitally to that. So that's how the idea was born. And it kind of developed from there, where we kind of like now built for the jobs to go out to our partners, basically.
So can you tell me more about the business structure? How big are you guys in terms of the team, the daily visits that you make, or what other key metrics that you follow, just to give us a sense of the size of the business, and then we may talk about some of the challenges you had in reaching to this level.
Sure. So the business, the key metrics is our order numbers and our revenue growth. We launched a new platform in September, which allowed one-off customers like yourselves that would just browse via the web and not actually via an app to check out and process an order. And that has seen our growth averaged out since September at 80% month on month. So that growth is super impressive for us as a business. We are leaning out our processes and leaning out our website and our platform to make it frictionless checkout, frictionless experience for customers. And I feel though that transparency in pricing and ease of use of the platform has allowed us to accelerate with that growth. There's another side to our business, which is for waste carriers themselves to actually run their own jobs. So what we do is we have a subset of our platform, which allows some of our partners, and they are partners, they're not
like a marketplace?
Not really a marketplace. So we have 30 companies on our platform, for argument's sake, that all have 5 or 6 drivers. Our tech solution that we use is used by them to run their own jobs. So they also have jobs coming in from customers that contact them from Google or account customers that they have. And then our platform drops our jobs into them as well. And then they use that same platform to manage their own jobs. So they can see their own team only, whereas we can see all the different teams.
Interesting. So at the same time, it's like a CRM solution for them as well.
Exactly. So they enhance their own customer experience. And I'm sure you receive the text and the tracking link. And all that kind of like Uber-like experience, which is what we're really getting the positive feedback about, and what is really making us, differentiating ourselves in the market.
And what's really interesting is people talk about entrepreneurs and founders hustling and really working hard. And there are things that founders do that don't scale, and there is something that you do that doesn't scale, which is to give the customer a call and ask them if they were satisfied with the service. If they were satisfied, leave them a review. And it's a very personal touch.
Absolutely.
How did you decide to start doing that?
Yeah, it's so there is a big issue with waste removal in terms of responsibility and what happens to the waste and transparency. So fly tipping, I'm sure you're aware of what that is. It's when people go and dump waste side of a field, end of a road, and it's prolific. There are 1 million incidents a year in the UK. So what we try and say is, by using us, be confident that we're dealing with your waste in a responsible way.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to gain that trust, we partnered with Trustpilot, who are the leading kind of confidence review site. We've actually become number one across all our major categories now. We're the only waste clearance company to have a 5-star rating. And I think that, to go back to your initial point, customers are the people that can make or break your business in terms of, you have to take on feedback, whether you like it or not. You may have one customer that says something, but if it's a recurring point, we need to act on it and improve our business and fit the needs of our customers. And we've been doing that.
So this is not an easy job by any measure. It's a quite difficult industry. How do you deal with customer complaints? Have you had any? I mean, you must have had a few.
So the biggest pain point, I would say, was around timings. So we originally were giving a 2-hour slot, which is what people wanted, but it just became too difficult to manage. And actually, not everybody needs a 2-hour slot. So we adapted and said, it's an AM or PM slot. If you have a preference for a time, if you prefer it after 3, please let us know. We'll accommodate that. And we found that's worked a lot better. Mm-hmm. Because the customer does get a tracking link. They do know when the driver's on their way. They do know when to expect the driver. And that has reduced our inbound. So there's no emails or calls or where's the driver or what time they're going to be here, because the customer has full transparency. So that's a key tactical enhancement and change we've made to elevate the customer experience. Because if you're saying we're going to be there between 2 and 4 and you arrive at 4:15, actually the customer's not happy just because you've set that expectation.
Yeah, it's about managing expectations, really.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So if you say we're going to be there between 12 and 5, we're fine.
So is this the first company you founded? And if you have co-founders or not, I did not get an answer to that.
So I originally had another fitness app, which is where I really learned about kind of apps and development. That was called My Macros. That was a great learning curve for me in terms of building algorithms and working with dev teams offshore, onshore. My background's consulting, so I was trained. I did my graduate scheme at Accenture, which I loved, and gave me the good foundation of how to run a project and how to hit kind of all the key milestones and structure things. But also, I've always had that kind of like flair to kind of do my own thing.
So you don't have any co-founders? It's just you?
Yeah. So I founded it. I've got 2 great partners that are on board with me now, Alexi and Chris, both from banking backgrounds, and we're working together to push the business forward.
So who else are in the team? How big are you in terms of the total number of people who manage it?
Yeah, so there's 6 of us in total. We've taken on actually this month 2 new BDMs, which are business development managers, to work on key accounts. Reason being is because our proposition for businesses is excellent. We're giving it a dashboard. They can understand where their waste is, what's happened to their waste, what sites are producing what waste. Imagine you've got a retail store with multiple outlets. They want to know what store, what visual merchandise is coming from where, what's the cost, and so forth. So our platform rolls that all up and can present it to them. So we're pitching to a number of large high street retailers to say, this is our waste solution. We can integrate it into your in-store platform. Your managers can book. It's handled seamlessly instead of wasting time and energy calling, getting different quotes, and things like that. So
let's take a further view in 2 years. How do you see the company growing? How big do you think it's going to be? Would you like to remain small in terms of the team, or do you have any plans to grow actually?
So the beauty of what we're doing is we don't want to become capital intensive in terms of we don't want trucks. And we've really pushed away from we often get asked, why don't you have your own trucks? That's not the model of business we're going for. But what we are looking to do is grow our supplier and partner base, to get more trucks in London, and we're looking at other cities now. So at the moment, I'm looking at a couple of cities in Australia and some cities in America, which we're already having conversations with partners on, and kind of duplicating the model.
I see. Yeah.
And expanding globally.
So it's a question of vertical integration, really. I mean, I understand the argument of the people who say, why don't you have your trucks? Yes, it could provide some cost efficiency, but that's not the real pain point. That's not the real bottleneck in the industry now, is it? That's why it's not.
Absolutely.
You're not in a rush to do that.
Exactly. And the partners that we're working with are fantastic. We are only as good as our partners. I'm not there on the truck. I'm not there talking to the customer. We're relying on the professionalism of our partners, and that's why we're so selective around who we allow onto the platform, because they're representing us when they go and see one of our customers. And really, our success is a testament to their hard work. They're helping us build this business, and we work with them. We've got up good relationships with them.
So in terms of funding, is this a bootstrap business built on profits, or do you have any investors on board?
No investors as yet. It's come out of savings.
That's good sometimes. More freedom for you.
Absolutely. We're trying to resist investment until the right point.
I'm such a fan of businesses that are bootstrapped. I've built some companies myself. Startups of London is one of them, and I see investment can be a huge resource, but at the right time. If it's used as a petrol to just fuel the engine, to grow that fire, it works. But if you have it at the very early stages, then it can be a hindrance. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to navigate the growth expectancies when you have not yet found a product market fit. So I feel like a big part of what you do, a big part of what makes or breaks a business like this, is the type of people you choose to work with, and not just within the team, but with partners, as you've mentioned, because this is a type of business where it is based on face-to-face and online human interaction. So let's say when I'm a customer, we don't need to, I really am a customer. So in my case, for example, the conversation I have and the feeling I get from that conversation, how sincere that person is, how helpful they're trying to be, versus how much in a rush they are, or is there some money grab, or am I going to hear back from them? So all of these have to do with the type of people that I'm interacting with, and it goes back to the company culture. So is it so what's your approach to that? Is it something that you consciously and deliberately think and read and research and experiment about how to build this culture, or is it just based on we actually want to work with cool people, nice people? How do you strike that balance? What are your strategies in choosing the right type of people to bring around this organization?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, first of all, the people in the team here are great. Everybody's friendly, and we kind of bend over backwards to accommodate every customer. Okay, and I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier around expectations. If you're managing a customer's expectations in terms of what it's going to cost, when we're going to do it, and how the job's going to be fulfilled, then we're halfway there. And then it's around working with the right partners to build up a relationship with them. We do some trial dummy runs with them to make sure that they're fully aware of how to use the app, because they have the driver app, and that really means that we're not just throwing anybody on the platform. We get requests all the time, right? Can I join? Can I join? Can I have jobs? Well, not really. We have to work with you to build up a relationship. I think the biggest question from some partners is, how many jobs am I going to get if I join Litta? And the answer to that is, it depends how much you put in. We have some teams that work every Saturday and Sunday for us, right? Those teams are delivering a great service to our customers that send us a quote on a Sunday morning and say, I need to get rid of all this stuff in my garden. And we can then respond, because we're all working 24/7, and say, absolutely, we can be there by 12 o'clock. And they're like, well, whereas all the other companies are closed. Unless it's pre-booked from the week before. And I think that's the passion. It's getting the quotes through, 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, jumping up and doing the quote. So the customer's like, wow, look, I've got a text or a quote and I can pay and it'll be done today.
That's such an important thing. So simple, but so overlooked. I mean, I agree with that. It's about being customer obsessed, customer centric. And that's at the core of this type of a business, isn't it?
Exactly. It's an on-demand service, right? And we expect on-demand everything. You can order wine, you can order, delivery, you can get any type of food you want. And we've become accustomed to that, especially the kind of younger generation that kind of always on their phones.
I think my final question to you is, how have you personally changed with Litta? Like, what's your personal transformation and learning and growth curve? What does that growth curve look like for you personally? Or what would the Aarron of 2 years ago see different in you now?
The fundamental thing is perseverance. Okay, so for me, perseverance and a relentless pursuit of improvements, and actually just like getting stuff done, just making that change all the time, improving. We've made more changes to the website this week. The site was fantastic as it was, but we leaned it out even more. We implemented a quick callback pop-up, which means you can click a button to get a callback. We changed some of our core categories, where we had building waste. We had 10 different options, 100 kilos to it. No one was ordering it because people don't know. So we've changed that page completely, and we've optimized it to allow us to be bespoke for every single job. We've changed our form. We now have a really cool form which is interactive.
Those are those are all good, all fantastic. But how have you personally changed in the last 2 years?
Good question. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's around perseverance. It's around, whether it's hard, whether it's sometimes you have those days where like, how's this really going to move forward? You're in a bit of a hard place. You don't have a decision to make. I think it's about being decisive and taking that step, and then you can take steps from there. So being empowered to make my own decisions, just doing it, and then just persevering, just not giving up.
A few days ago, I was listening to a few key traits of successful people and entrepreneurs, and usually videos like these are clickbait. This one wasn't. It was actually good content. It was by Kevin O'Leary, the guy from Shark Tank, if you've ever watched that. So it was genuinely good advice. And the best bit of that advice was nothing in that list is easy. I mean, it is very easy to write down, okay, have passion for your business, have patience. But the actual very hard thing to do is get up every morning, every week, go to the office. And you're in the office now, like with the COVID situation. That's something we will maybe talk about in another episode. But it is that repetition. It's that doing that again and again and again until it's good. That's the biggest part. It's just a sentence. Be more perseverant, show patience. But in reality, that's actually, in my experience, the hardest thing to do as an entrepreneur. Well, Aarron, thank you very much for being a guest in this episode. Is there anything you'd like to conclude with?
No, I'd like to thank you very much. I suppose for anybody having a look, or anybody that's in marketing, or any carriers that are out there, anybody that feels they could add any value to our business, would love a catch up with me, you can just ping me an email at aaron@litta.co. Happy to talk. Thank you very much for inviting me to talk here. It's been great.
Fantastic. Wish you all the best and huge success in the coming years.
I look forward to being a returning customer.
I will be. That's great.
Great
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.